Yes, that UI sound you hear in the background is Le Mans Ultimate. We are back. Road to Gold is back as a series because I am desperate to actually get to gold. It kind of tailed off last time, right? We were playing a lot of Le Mans Ultimate. You guys remember. We were doing Le Mans Ultimate not every week, but quite often. And I was pursuing gold, and it was all going pretty well. I won a race or two, had some good results in some championship races. It was, you know, flying along. Got up to, I think it was Silver 2. And then, just before we reached gold, everything started going to pot. I don't know what happened, but I just got really unlucky. There was a couple of races where we got disconnected before it even started. There was a couple where we had some incidents. And basically, amongst all of that, we started covering lots of different games through the streams, so we weren't too Le Mans Ultimate heavy. And ultimately, what ended up happening was we never made it to gold. I made it to gold in terms of safety ranking. I actually made it to platinum, but never made it to gold in terms of driver ranking. So now I thought, you know what? We're going to try and do a few more streams when possible on the Traxion channel. We'll try and make them a little bit more regular than once a week. Again, when possible. Sometimes we don't even manage any, but sometimes I'm hoping to manage 2 or even 3 streams in a week. And, you know, a bit of that is, let's get back to some of the old series that we can try and revitalize, and I can actually try and achieve what I set out to do with Le Mans Ultimate, which is to reach a driver rank that is gold. Now, it's not just about reaching Gold 1 driver ranking. It is, of course, about earning gold and actually justifying it. Like, I don't just want to reach it for the sake of it. I'm not here to just grind out ranking even if I'm not good enough. The whole idea of this is I actually want to be good enough at Le Mans Ultimate to justify my gold ranking. Hopefully that makes some sort of sense. So it's not about getting really, really good at one particular combo and just doing loads of races and hammering my driver ranking. It's all about being able to just jump in, have some fun in the races, get better at the game, and hopefully, naturally, through good driving, good racing, good results, work my way up to gold. So there you go. That's the series laid out for you. But I know, I can see in the chat already some familiar faces. You guys know what this is all about. So I know Thierry's here. I know Mark's here as well. Welcome to both of you. Welcome to all of you. We've also got Project Ultramarina's back as well. Amazing. Excellent stuff. Great to see some familiar faces back. Yeah, there really aren't many gold drivers. That's the thing in Le Mans Ultimate. It's really difficult to get gold. I'm just going to join a practice session here if we can. 10 minutes till the session starts. It's really difficult to get gold, and I think that is something that might on paper seem like a bit of a funny way of doing things with Le Mans Ultimate. Other games, it's like, you know, you would think if there's bronze, silver, gold, platinum, you would think it would be like 25% of the player base could be in each tier. Obviously, it doesn't work quite like that. Maybe, you know, 35 are in bronze, and it goes a bit down as you get higher up. But the reality is, I don't think there are many, if any, platinum drivers in Le Mans Ultimate. I think maybe like a handful at most. And I genuinely think this is a great thing. I really do. Because in real life, obviously the World Endurance Championship is a lot less accessible. Endurance racing is less accessible than the game Le Mans Ultimate is. But fundamentally, there are only a select few that are good enough and have enough of a reputation, enough experience to actually be platinum drivers. Now, Le Mans Ultimate is still a young game. Obviously, it's now a full game, no longer early access. But we haven't had kind of our proper official esports or anything yet, so there's still a long way to go on that front. And I think there's still time for the drivers to establish themselves as the best players in Le Mans Ultimate, especially when the game comes to consoles and you get career mode and all these things. The best players to establish themselves as platinum drivers. And I just think that that's something awesome for the best to work towards. Like, if you're really, really good, if you're like an esports pro and you're at top level, that's really, you should be the only person or one of the few people that are actually platinum, because that's how it works in real life. The best in the world are platinum. Gold should just be for the drivers that are good enough to be, fighting towards the top, right? Not necessarily the best of them all, but just good enough to be in that conversation in the top series. So I actually quite like how they've made it ridiculously weighted towards bronze and silver compared to gold and platinum, because you really have to earn it. And if you play this game a lot and you grind away and you get better, it's going to feel really special when you can manage to get that gold tag. So that was a completely unnecessary rant I've just gone on, but hey, I think it's pretty cool. So there you go. And at the end of the day, your average sim racer will not be fast enough to make it, definitely not to platinum, but a lot of the time won't be fast enough to make it to gold, because it's really difficult. But that's fine, because then within bronze and silver, you can still play around, race people of similar rank, have great racing, and try and build up your ranking and aim for the next one. Always aim for the next one. So I think it's perfect, right? So yeah. Mark thinks it needs a restriking. I am S1 right now, but I know I've been S2 in the past, so that's kind of the goal. We've got some fixed setup racing at Spa to start with, guys. It's the silver, what's it called? Prototype fixed, I think it is. So we've gone with the kind of European Le Mans spec LMP2 car, or the LMP2 Plus, whatever you want to call it. So it's quicker than the regular LMP2. Oh, hello. Almost a big crash in pit lane. I'm also using this to test a couple of things. I've changed a couple of settings with Le Mans Ultimate and my PC to try and eliminate some of these weird kind of glitchy issues I've been having with the game when racing against big packs and online. So that'll be a bit of a test for this as well. I do think it's worse when I'm streaming, but I'm hoping that some of the changes I've made will actually improve that, and hopefully we'll get some smooth running, but we might not. We'll have to wait and see. I'm just trying to like experiment with trial and error and pick through different solutions potentially. But let's try and get in a few laps of practice before we launch into our first race here, which starts at 1/2 the hour. It's a good start, John. Well done. Cold tires. Didn't want to get in the way of the LMP3. Yeah, most are Bronze 3 or S1. I think that makes sense. Regular players, Mark, will be. And then obviously your kind of newcomers or less experienced sim racers will be sort of Bronze 1, Bronze 2, I guess. But there's definitely a... Yeah, I get what you mean. But the thing is, there's... You know, in each... Because there's all these different series, depending on the series you go for, there are, you know, normally quite a small number of splits anyway. But obviously it's just... There's quite a lot, I think, of ranking that's hidden behind these tags. So I think within, like, Silver 1 or Silver 2, there's quite a big range. But obviously you don't see that. It's kind of hidden away, which I quite like. Other games kind of don't hide it away, and you know, it's iRacing and stuff means you sort of chase a specific number, and you always know whether you should, even if you've got only 100 more iRacing than someone else, it feels like you should, you know, you can go chasing the drivers around you, right? Or drivers with a slightly higher or slightly lower iRating, you kind of know where you think you should stand with them. But that can also lead to, like, I don't know, maybe not enjoying it as much because you take it so seriously, trying to, you know, make sure you finish ahead of anyone who's got a lower iRating than you and stuff like that. Everyone's different, but it's just been done slightly differently with Le Mans Ultimate. Cool. Didn't expect that. Gold is kind of pointless. I'm not going to kill you, Thierry, don't worry. Yeah, it does. It just means you can sort of have fun and you're not chasing, you know. It doesn't feel like every single time you lose, you know, a 56 rating, you feel like, oh, that's, you know, painful. You don't want to race in case you risk losing it. It's because you're just kind of a general rank. You're like, oh, well, I am where I am, and you can just have fun and race and not be too worried about it. And then obviously if you notice you gaining or losing, you can then decide, you know what, let's go chase something. Let's go chase the next rank. Rather than, like, let's chase 100 points or something, and then you get really frustrated when you lose a tiny bit each run or something like that. You know, it's a little bit more vague, which I think works quite well in certain situations, let's just say. Yes, definitely. So Silver 2, most of the time, will be enough for Split 1. The exception being when you get a race with tons of splits. So if you're racing like a, you know, really busy GT3 field with, you know, 8 or 9 or 10 splits, then obviously at that point, depending on how many drivers there are, it might be a bit trickier. But I think S2, you're probably going to be Split 1 every time, if not occasionally Split 2. At least I feel like I used to be sometimes Split 2 when I was S2. Very occasionally, but that might just be me misremembering. That might have been when I was Silver 1, because I was only Silver 2 for a short amount of time before all the races started going wrong. I know I'm following a Porsche 911 right now, but this is a P2 car. It's not loaded in for me. Thank you. Four minutes of practice, so it's literally just going to be a couple of laps to get up to speed. We are racing at Spa, as you may have noticed. So as I was saying, it's the kind of faster P2 cars mixed in with LMP3, so it's multi-class. No GT cars in this race, no hypercars, but it is around the track that just hosted the World Endurance Championship at the weekend. Frame rates are not mega smooth. You guys can probably see that. Hello, Rookie Mistake. How's it going? I realised it was yourself that asked that question that I answered a minute ago, so thanks for joining the stream. Hope you're all doing okay. Plenty of motorsport at the weekend. Just passed. I was actually up in the Highlands visiting my family, so I didn't get to see too much of it live, but I was following what I could. Oh, amazing. Welcome along. Very happy to have you. Let's try and get this lap completed, then we'll leave to join the main race. I'm hoping the slight kind of frame rate drops will stabilize once we get into an actual race session, but we'll just have to see. Again, as I said earlier, it's kind of, I'm experimenting a little bit with what sort of performance we're going to get here. Tried a few different settings changes. I've been having this kind of issue that some of you may have witnessed where occasionally the cars around me start sort of rocking back and forth a little bit, and it all just goes a bit strange, and then it usually stabilizes after the opening few corners or laps, but some tracks seem to be worse than others. That was terrible. Anyway, we've got a lap in.
Lap 2:04.58.
Right, so let's leave and join the session. I think it's a half-hour race, so I don't think there's going to be a pit stop in this one. Ooh, rumour. What rumour, Mark? So we are, by the way, there's 129 registrations, 100 LMP2 pluses, and there's 29 LMP3 cars. So we're definitely going to have a good race here with plenty of people around the same speed as us. Looking at the entry list, you've got a lot of B3 and S1, B2, B3, B3, S1, B3, S1. There's an S2 there. Yeah, I might take back what I said earlier. Let's join the event anyway. There's 4 splits, so we'll see if we're in split 1 or split 2, most likely. I may take back what I said about the balancing being pretty good, simply because I remember in the past seeing quite a lot of S2s, and I feel like there were way more S1s there, and B3s, just exactly as Mark said. So maybe Mark, in the time that I've not been playing as much Le Mans Ultimate, something's changed a little bit in terms of how many drivers are in each rank. It seems like everyone's struggling to get S2 based on that little look. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. Machinomancer, don't know if that's pronounced properly. Machinomancer. Waiting on career mode at the end of the year or so. Yes. I cannot wait for career mode. I get my enjoyment, as you guys probably know, from both online racing and career modes. We do a lot of career mode streaming on this channel and video coverage, and it's just a really big part of racing games that is often overlooked, especially in the content community, because a lot of the most passionate sim racers are racing online regularly, and single player racing experiences sort of sometimes go under the radar a little bit, especially by those at the top end. And I actually have always been, like, a massive part of growing up and falling in love with video games, and racing games specifically, has been single player experiences. So career modes are massively important for me, and therefore, like, I think Le Mans Ultimate having a career mode is going to bring in a lot of new players that might not have bought the game before, because there really aren't any single player features with this game. It's all focused on the online racing. So having that career mode is going to make such a big difference, especially when the game comes to consoles. And then all of a sudden, when this game's on console with a career mode, it's going to open up the market hugely. So as long as enough people hear about the game, and hoping it's good on console, of course, because we don't know yet, then and the career mode's good, then we're going to be flying. I think Le Mans Ultimate's going to be the ultimate sim racing experience, or definitely one of the best for sure. We hear good things, but yeah, let's see. All right, so what's the rumor then, Mark? I'm not going to comment on rumors, but I will definitely read out what you've said. Daytona, the Acura LMDH. The new Lambo GT3, so the Temerario in September, apparently. Interesting stuff. We are in split 1, by the way, guys, so top split. We're definitely not going to be the fastest driver, but it's just about trying to get a good result. We've not done a huge amount of practice. I did about 5 laps. So, and as you saw there, I did 1 lap at the start of the stream. So we're just going to go out there and try and do our best. 30-minute race, 8-minute qualifying, so that's what, 4 laps plus an out lap. So you want 5 laps of fuel, maybe take 6 just to be safe. 5 should be enough, to be fair. Five and a half laps of fuel. Now we'll take 6 just in case, because there's no point wasting a lap for the sake of 1 lap of fuel. It is fixed setups as well, guys, so everyone should be the same. Daytona would be epic, yeah. American tracks. I want to see American tracks. That would be cool, because there's so many good ones, and this game would be, you know, because obviously it's so focused on European Le Mans and World Endurance Championship, it would be great if you kind of localized it and nationalized some of it. And obviously America, North America specifically, with IMSA is another area of circuits that actually have these types of cars racing on them in real life as well. Obviously Asian Le Mans Series 2, I'm sure there's some more Asian tracks. Right, first qualifying session of the day. Project Ultramarine is excited about career mode as well. I'm not going to look at comments too much while I'm weaving, that's a terrible idea. Thierry's hoping I don't crash. Well, I hope I don't crash too, Thierry, but I definitely can't promise you that. I'll do my best, is all I'll say. Oh, Watkins, yeah. Watkins multi-class is always good. I've not done enough Watkins Glen multi-class racing. And the good thing is we've seen from Le Mans Ultimate already, they've proven that it's not just about the layouts that are used in the World Endurance Championship. They will add alternative layouts like Silverstone International and National and the Bahrain Oval layouts and stuff to make the racing more interesting, even if they don't, you know, these cars don't race there in real life. So that's amazing. You could have all the different variations on Watkins Glen. I would love Road Atlanta, Road America. I've taken the number of audio effects down, so to try and see if that makes a difference to any sort of CPU things going on. So you may hear I heard some slightly weird audio heading up through Erosion Radio on there in the outlap, so that might be something to do with that. IMSA license, yeah. I don't know how that would work, honestly, because IMSA have obviously got their finger in so many pies in sim racing. Maybe that's a good thing, but also maybe they're already in too many things. I don't know. Alright, first lap's a bit more of a banker, because our tyres aren't up to temperature, so we'll just survive it. Still got my rookie badge. I've not done any ranked racing outside of what you've seen on stream, so the reason I've still got my rookie badge is I don't know how many races I've done on stream since the badge system came in, but it's not a crazy amount. But surely I'm very close to dropping that badge now, surely. Yeah, I agree, Max. Would be really cool to see the new Toyota. I love the new rear wing. I like the new look. It does look a little bit too much like the Ferrari with the paint job from a distance anyway. But it's really cool. Nice to see the BOP working this season in terms of, okay, I don't like BOP as a concept, of course, but it's nice to see some different teams able to fight at the front this season as well. I'm not going to talk about the Spa race in case anyone's still to watch it, or I don't want to spoil anything for any of you WEC fans out there that are yet to catch up, because it is only Monday afternoon. Yeah, I agree, it looks great. Okay, this is just a kind of banker. It's not even a banker lap, it's just a lap to stay out of trouble, keep the tyres in good condition, just get a time on the board. Turn my traction control down as well. It's a fixed setup, but you can still make tweaks. I don't know what's best, but we'll take traction down. That normally is a little on the safe side with fixed setups. Go a little bit rearward on the brake bias. Maybe because it's qualifying, I'll go down 2 in the traction control. Take a bit of a risk. There we go. Love a qualifying risk, trying something new.
Lap 2:06.36.
Okay, missed me apex for the first corner. Maybe should stay in 5th actually through there. Yeah. Oh, too much curb on the way in. Bit of a lock up. Still don't quite know how much curb to use. Someone did a 2:04.9 on the banker lap, so that's with colder tires and stuff, remember, so that will become like a low 2:03, maybe even high 2:02s, I reckon. So we're not fighting for a podium here, I don't think. What I'd like is like a top 8 in qualifying or something. Lock up. Oh no. Not great, but it's fine, we've got time for another lap. One more lap.
Time 2:04.40.
As you saw, clearly messed up turn 1, but got away with it. Maybe I went too aggressive on the brake bias to the rear. Just pushed the brake pedal too hard, no ABS of course. In the LMP2, let's try staying in 5th. That's definitely helped. Look at the delta through there just by staying in 5th. We're P9 at the moment, so top 8 is what I said I was aiming for. Unfortunately messed up the first corner on both laps. Too wide. Better. Much better. Wider line into Blanchimont. Sorry, Pouillon. Okay, so tyres still coming in, I guess, or just it's also been a better lap for me. But we're a second up now on this third flyer, so it shows you just how much you can keep pushing. Did overfuel slightly, but that's fine. Everyone's going to improve, of course, in the last lap. We dropped 13th, but then we go back up to P5. Now P6. We'll see if anyone else comes across, but that looks like it could be a top 8. 2:03.36. Not a bad lap. Not a bad lap. Still, of course, things to learn to go faster, but I'll take a top 8 in top split. I think there's a lot of silver 1s in this session, a few silver 2s though. Oh, thank you, Port Camera, welcome. Thierry. So what's Thierry saying? Not saying you want other people to crash, but you might want to hope the other drivers crash. Don't worry, we all know what you mean, Thierry. You don't wish ill on anyone. Don't wish ill on an opponent. But if they do crash, I'll take the position. Looks like we are holding on to P6. Anyone still to go faster? No, everyone else in the pits. So that's 6th out of 22 in the top split. So tell you what, top half of the top split is a really good achievable thing. Like that's something that is, I say good achievable thing, I mean that's, for where I'm at, what I'm trying to achieve, anytime I'm in the top half in the top split, it's probably going to be a good sign. It's going to help us, hopefully. Depending on the quality of the opposition in terms of the rankings and stuff. But yeah, it was good. Piers Pryor is here. How's it going?
Teams and drivers.
If anyone wants to buy a red Volkswagen Polo, Piers is your man. Right, half an hour race. Let's get some fuel in the car. Also, Piers, you did an amazing job on the commentary at Miami last weekend in Formula 2, sorry. It was excellent as always. Well, we'll start with 58 litres, that should be safe. We'll take a new set of tyres. P6 on the grid. We're pretty much going straight into this. Half an hour race, multi-class. No worries. Cameron's here as well. How is it going, Cameron? Everyone's here today. It's LMU. It brings folk out. It's good. All my favourite people are here.
Formation lap has started.
Right in time to watch me crash into some sort of lag issue of some kind. Definitely not predicting the future there. No, hopefully it is better, guys. Fingers crossed. Right, P6 on the grid. What are we saying for the race? Get your predictions in. Where do you think I'm going to finish? I mean, I said I wanted top 8 in qualifying. Sixth in the end, but I'm feeling a bit underprepared, so... Oh, is it too ambitious to say top 5 in the race? Things normally happen. You know what? We'll be ambitious. We'll reevaluate as the race goes on, but I would love to finish, let's say top 6. Let's go with top 6. There we go. Pretty messy getting going, but take the traction down by 1. Actually leave it up because of the cold tyres.
Green flag, green flag.
Slow start from the car in front. Oh no. Followed the car in front of me off wide. Oh! Tell you what, that could have been so much worse. Honestly. I was following the car in front thinking he was going to make it, and he went way off in the gravel. And I just went a little bit off, and then everything kicked off on the inside anyway, so... Very lucky to get away from that in P6, let's just say. I think I would have been right in that mess. Hoping for a podium, thank you. Just gotta remember cold brakes, cold tyres. I've never seen a race start that's had so much good and bad in it at the same time and ended up completely neutral, you know? Just settle into rhythm now, guys. We're going to have to look after the tyres. We've got traffic later in the race when we come up against LMP3s. Performance seems okay at the moment. How are you, Cameron? I'll probably not be able to read a response for about 3 laps at this stage, but I thought I'll get the question in now. Well, Could have been worse. Let's just say it could have been worse.
Time 2:14.44.
Right, that was a big lock-up. Probably going to have a flat spot. I avoided a crash, thankfully, with the car in front, but they were just a bit safe on the brakes. I was kind of late on the brakes trying to defend, and then I just basically locked it all up trying to avoid a collision. I wasn't trying, of course, to overtake there. I was trying to defend. I've got a big flat spot, big vibration. But we didn't crash. Could have been worse. Let's try and pull position now. Perfect. Always find it a little bit easier to defend the outside line through the chicane there than to try and defend the inside, because then someone will do you around the outside. As long as you're brave enough on the brakes on the outside, you can have a bit more confidence and just keep your car on the track. You should be fine. That's exactly what happened there. Got a blinking car up in front. Good to hear, Cameron. I've not read the second half. Thank you. I don't know if I'd call it a good save or just a lucky mistake, but yeah, it could have been worse for sure. See how much the car behind closed in there under braking as well. Me slightly losing a bit of nerve into the chicane. There's not really, unfortunately, a clear braking point for that chicane.
Time 2:05.87.
Hey Acid, welcome. Welcome. And Ross is speaking about transit racing because tomorrow night there is a charity race. So basically, Gridfinder are running a series of races through the week this week, all in raising money for mental health charity Mind. So there's going to be a bunch of races. Basically, every evening there's going to be something on, and these are fun races. There's an Indy 500 on Friday. There's some multi-class endurance racing at the weekend. There's a Ford Transit race around Macau tomorrow. And myself and I don't know if Ross has signed up yet. He's thinking about it. But if you do sign up, Ross, then the two of us will be doing that Ford Transit race tomorrow evening around Macau. There's I think there's over 15 sign-ups, including the likes of Lucas Blakely. It's going to be a laugh. I'm going to stream it on the Traction channel as well. So there's going to be 2 streams in 2 days, guys. If you fancy watching some Ford Transit racing, which is going to be a little bit different to this, I'll admit, then yeah, tune into the channel tomorrow evening, around about 7 o'clock, and we'll do some Ford Transit racing. Don't know how those. I don't actually know if the transits are going to be able to get around the hairpin at Macau, but we'll see. Right, I've gapped the car behind. The good thing is braking the slipstream before we get down the massive straights at Spa, so we're half a second behind P6. Love the sparks coming up from underneath these cars. Yurka closed 2 tenths on me in the braking for bus stop alone.
Time 2:04.51.
Still quite a bit of blinking from the car in front, which is concerning if we end up in a battle. Transit. Oh, awesome. Kyber Mage, thanks for the comment. Good to hear. Any particular videos or series? And what games are you going to play? Could hear others bouncing off the rev limiter in second as I'm taking third through the downhill left. Andreba, right. Andreba is our next battle then for P5. Oh, sorry, for P6, because I made that mistake earlier, of course. Again, using second through there while I'm in third. You can hear that car bouncing off the rev limiter like it's a World Rally spec Orica. It sounds really good. Yeah, I'm getting nervous too. You guys aren't alone. I want to get the good result though. I want to consolidate the result, so it's going to be a balance of risk here. I can see something happening in the mirror. Was that a move for P8 behind us? Right, you want to get the slipstream down the hill after Eau Rouge and Radio, and you want to time this. Okay, distance-wise, I think this is probably pretty good. So let them accelerate a wee bit away. Then we'll start clawing back the gap as we go through Eau Rouge and Radion. There's a bit of blinking going on. I followed them over the curb. Come on. Outside or inside? It's gonna have to be inside. Oh, they've gone a bit deep. Perfect. Tried the brave move around the outside and just went on a little bit deep there. Wanted to avoid an accident, so fair play to our rival there for actually making sure it was all clean and not trying to do anything crazy. Just maybe made a slight mistake, but then left me the room to take the position, so that was good. Now I need to focus on and try and catch 2 seconds up to real in 5th. But traffic will come into play soon, and that's going to help us, I think. I say soon, I don't know how soon, because the LMP3s are not that much slower. Head down. We've done it. 2.3 seconds is the gap. We've got 1 second back to P7. I think the chap who was one of the fastest in qualifying is an 8th, though. 1.4 off, so he's probably going to come through. Got to keep a little bit of an eye on that, but really just focus forward. Try and brake a little later for the chicane, maybe. That's where I'm losing lots of time. Oh, spinner up in front. Oh! Okay, that's the position. P5.
That time was a 2:04.47.
There are some pretty intense insults going on in the chat, guys, that you cannot see. My head is hiding some pretty demonetizing stuff right now, so it's probably a good thing. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Thierry. Agreed. 19 minutes. There's 3 cars battling for P2, 3, and 4 ahead of us. So the 3 cars in front all battling. I just need to keep my position, see if I've got the pace to kind of gap the cars behind, which I'm not sure about, because we haven't had free air yet. And then just wait and see what happens in the traffic. Still got my flat spot, which is causing me all sorts. I've got a purple sector 1 though. Ah, keep missing that. Just turning in too late. Not using the camber properly. Much better through Kuon. Alright, find some rhythm now. Bit wide. Okay, gaps up to the cars behind, down to the cars in front. At least one of them. Leader's gone. I need to go to Piers Prior braking technique school, because Piers is unbelievable on the brakes. That'll do. Sure. Just trying to push harder into that chicane, knowing I'm losing time there. And yeah, I did not have the stability on turning. I think the car that's gone up to P6 is one of the faster cars in the server as well, so we shouldn't be looking behind me, but I am aware that that's going to come, and I might need to have one eye in the mirror in a bit. But let's just see. Oh, actually, in terms of FOV, I don't know if... Did I actually adjust it from the default? I'm constantly reinstalling, uninstalling, downloading preview versions, going back to the original. I don't know, so I think the FOV is possibly with Le Mans Ultimate. I can't remember if I've even adjusted it or I've just left it as the kind of game's default, because it's pretty reasonable from the off for me. I know it's a calculation if you want to do it correctly, but... Ooh, what's going on here? Okay, that is P4 that's being held up here by traffic. Ah, okay, I think there's some... Yeah, look, he's trying to deliberately ruin his race. Let's be careful here. You have to be very careful. I think there's some revenge happening right now. Don't want to get caught up in it. It's going to ruin... It's going to, of course, bring cars behind into play. The back marker in front's got a stop go penalty, and they're deliberately blocking for sure. Yeah, look, he's gone. All right, perfect. All right, let's continue. I think that's basically the reason I was calling that is because, yeah, I was seeing plenty of names in the chat involved in that battle, so there was clearly some deliberate revenge taking place. All getting a bit, it's all kicking off a little bit now, isn't it? So for LMP3 in the middle of it. Totally lost my rhythm. Sorry guys, I was so focused on what was happening around me and surviving that I basically just dropped my rhythm entirely and started making some sloppy mistakes. I do think the car that just passed us was going to pass us anyway. I have a suspicion, so therefore letting him go early, I wasn't going to fight it too hard, because I think he's going to then put the pressure on Canal. Maybe they'll have an incident, maybe they'll hold each other up and we'll continue our race, try and get back up into P5. And Dreba, I know I've got the speed over, who's a second behind us, so we should be safe in P6. Take the track limit hit to avoid retirement. I know that might have looked funny because I've literally cut across the chicane and then taken a place, but the other car that also went across the chicane did slow down in the straight, so I wouldn't have just overtaken him by cutting the corner. It was just that I thought he was backing off waiting for his rival to come back through or something. Not quite sure. Maybe he was just in the wrong gear, but either way, we avoided a crash, so. It worked out exactly as I predicted, guys. Playing the long game. And we're in P4 with 12 minutes to go. Still the LMP3s to come through, really. We've only been through one, I think, so far. Yeah. Ooh, a bit deep. Don't want to get back. I don't want to get back in slipstream range. 1 second ahead, exactly. Qualifying laps time. Got a big gap in front, small gap behind, full eyes forward in qualifying. We did have a big gap forward. That's P3 gone off in front of us now. Podium in sight all of a sudden.
920.13.
TC down by 1. Don't know what the pace of Wemenhove up in front is. So we'll have to just see, but I think he's fast. Everyone in front should be fast at this point. Oh, that's gone orange. Why is that gone orange? Oh, right, we're getting close to a penalty now. That went orange all of a sudden through there. I wasn't expecting it track limits wise, so I lifted and went yellow, but I don't have any really points left, so I can't afford to. I'm gonna have to lift basically. Anytime I run close to the curbs, I'm gonna have to lift. P3. Charge, head down. Suddenly it's all opening up. We've got 2.5 seconds back now. Wemenhove's struggling, potentially with damage, I would say, based on how easily I got that move done. And it's a podium. Someone said they were hoping for a podium. I said I'm not going to aim that high, but, you know, here we are. Not over yet, though. Finally getting the line right into the chicane for the first time in the whole race, probably. Hopefully we'll get this LMP3 before Eau Rouge. Yep, perfect. Eight minutes to go. Bit of a crazy race, really. Not been a great race for me, but there's been worse for everyone around me, let's put it that way. Yeah, they're just lap traffic. Cobra Mage, get out of the way, thank you so much. Shout out to Control for just jumping out of the way under blue flags. Ooh. Whatever flat spot, whatever tyre it was that I flat spotted, I can't even remember now. It's just getting worse. I think it's my inside right. Or front right, I should have said. 5 seconds back to P4. Keep missing that in. Absolutely shocking. I'm very aware. For anyone who's watching this and thinking, what on earth is he doing through the bus stop? Just constantly missing that second apex and getting the braking all wrong. I'm very aware that I am shockingly inconsistent through the bus stop chicane today. I don't know why, but I seem to just misjudge it every single time mid-corner. Can't get that left-hander right, so I need to just be better, basically. That's the sort of thing. To get my gold LMU ranking, I just need to sort that out. Unnecessary time loss every single lap. It's under control. I love it. Just gotta be careful with back markers as well, though, because they're running their own race. Right, into the LMP3 field now. Not going to catch the leaders on pace at all, guys. So it's 9 point. The gap is way too big, and I think they're faster anyway. But obviously anything can still happen, so I've just got to keep it clean. I've got the charging Hennebick behind, who's been very fast, and I'm in the traffic now, so I'm going to lose a bit of time through here compared to him. And I haven't had any experience with the LMP2 and LMP3 combination at Spa, so I really don't know where my best places are to pass these LMP3 cars, so I'm going to have to play it by ear a little bit. Thank you. Oh, wrong button. That was terrifying. I accidentally reset my force feedback instead of flashing my lights. Here we go. Finally got the second curve.
That time was a 2:05.65.
Right, 3 laps to go or something like that. Got 4 laps of fuel. We all have a skill issue, kids. We all have different skill issues. It's just the best have less and are better at, they're more rare. These guys are having a great scrap, so not going to ruin it. That was I know that looks silly. It was a deliberate change of plan to not mess up the next car. I'd wait for the next corner, and I lost the rear a little bit there, just hitting the brakes, trying to basically be patient. Hennebick's through the LMP3s, gained another second on me through that, second and a bit. But I've just got to try and manage the gap. He's accusing the LMP3 of something I'm not going to repeat on stream behind my face in the chat. There's all sorts of hatred going on, honestly. What's wrong with the world right now? Why is everything so hateful in terms of online chats and social media? It's horrendous. Yeah, I'm seeing that, Victor. All good. I'm going to try and focus up. He says, locking up. But yeah, I need some clean laps just to finish off. It's just the traffic, really. Being safe in traffic. It's not like, you know, when you're in a hypercar and you're coming up against GT3s and you can just sort of dive in and out and you can be a little more brave and you can, it's actually easier. I think with the combination of P2 and P3, the speed difference is just not that pronounced. It is, of course, but it's, you know, it's smaller, so therefore in the traffic it's actually more difficult to sort of plan a safe move. So it's a little bit more challenging. We've obviously got more downforce, which we can use. Oh no! Whoa! It was green, then it's gone yellow. And before I had a chance to even do anything, it's given me a drive-through. Oh no, that's a disaster. I thought it was going to give me something, so I was going to lift, and then it was green, which means there's no penalty. Oh, that is an absolute disaster, because is it the double pit lane as well? We're going to lose at least 5 spots. This journey is a marathon, not a sprint. Hi, Pishbot. Hi, John. You join me in a very good moment. I bet I'm going to get another one for speeding on the way in. Yep. Oh, big crash. So what happened was, I mean, it's totally my fault. I'm going to let the grassman go. What happened was, I was being extra cautious passing the LMP3, so I went a little bit wide over the curb, expecting it to sort of give me a bit of a track limits warning, so I was going to lift afterwards. But then it was green, so I didn't realise that when it's green and it stays green, it can suddenly turn yellow afterwards. And I think that's more cars looking for revenge. We've just gone past. Yeah, I didn't realise that it would change. So basically what happened was I thought I was fine. I was not going to get a penalty for track limits. And then all of a sudden it went yellow and gave me 0.5 of a track limits penalty, which has given me a drive-through. So at the end of the day, it's my fault for even taking a risk with it, but I was aware the cars behind me were closing in, and I thought, well, I'm just going to carry the speed around the outside, and I do not want to crash. And in the end, obviously, it's cost me. And then obviously the second drive-through is just pure stupidity for me. I didn't expect the speed limit line to come so soon, and I just went in a bit too hot. Totally unnecessary, but by that point, I was felt like the race had kind of gone. We're only going to lose another 2 spots max, so it's not going to make a huge difference. But yeah. Road to bronze. The road to bronze begins. Yeah, exactly, Project Ultramarine. Exactly. We can use the tires now, it's fine. Right, in we come again. So the line is right here. Now what I don't know is going to happen is if this drive-through is not going to be served in time, we'll have to see, because we're coming across the line very soon. We should finish 11th. But because I've not completed the full drive-through, I don't know if it's going to give me a penalty. I think we're okay. Yeah, it's P11. Thank you, John. I'm sorry that you joined on such a predictable note with me driving through the pits in a non-pit stop race. Honestly, it's great to see all you guys back. It's great to see John here, Thierry, Astrovor's back as well. Port Camera's here, Skids is here. So many familiar faces, and it's great to see new faces as well, so I appreciate you guys joining. Was that a stream achievement? What do you mean, sorry? Yeah, it's giving me another penalty, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, because it was the last lap, even though I served my drive-through, it didn't let me fully serve it, so it's giving me another penalty, so it's dropped me to 12th. So that is, if you have a drive-through in the final lap, just don't bother even trying. Just finish the race. That was kind of predictable. And after all that, Hennebick finishes third, who we were basically racing with the whole time. So, yeah. I did get a notification, but I don't... a Steam... I got a trusted badge. There you go. We finally got a badge. That's probably what the Steam achievement was, getting a badge. Look how close we were to S2, though. We're going to lose a bit here, I think. I was expected to finish 5th in the top split, so I was on for 3rd. I think we've lost a little bit, but we're so close to silver too, so it's okay. We just got to do more. I definitely think I can drive better in that combo. What was our best lap time as well? I know the best lap was a 2:04, but I think I did a 2:03 and just messed up the final chicane. So I think we would have been okay. Right, what's the timing looking like? Nice. Yeah. I'm also very okay with being an S1 driver. I just think, for me, it's fun to try and chase this higher rank, because I think it's possible. The next one is in 10 minutes, guys. We could just do the same thing again. And now that I'm up to speed, we'll hopefully be top split. I've got more experience with the combo now. I can try and get a bit more comfortable in qualifying. I think we can just do that again. Like, let's try and get the podium I deserved. I didn't deserve, sorry. My pace deserved. It is a tricky car. How do you drive a hypercar, asks Nick. I lock up every corner, even with a slight push in the brake. Yeah, it's not easy driving the hypercar. It really isn't. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of very fine judgment on the brake pedal. The braking's probably the hardest for most people that are used to driving cars with ABS. If you've come from like GT3s, for instance, yeah, you really need a sensitive. Thank you, Cameron. You're absolutely right. Yeah, you really need a brake pedal with a lot of flexibility, and you need a brake pedal you can feel. So a firmer, longer brake pedal, rather than, depending on what equipment you're using. If you've got a pedal that's very lightweight, it's so easy to lock up. You need to be able to modulate the brake a lot. So that'll make a big difference for you. Cheers, Thierry. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you again soon. But yeah, essentially as well, Nick, you kind of have to... There's a couple of other things to it, right? When you are driving the hypercar, you also have a battery which depletes and then recharges and depletes and recharges. It's not that simple for me to explain in a very short period of time if you're new to hypercars. But because when you brake, if the battery's not full, when you brake, it regenerates energy into the battery, right? So you're essentially putting power back into the battery. And that is how that actually helps you with slowing the car down. Like, part of the braking process, part of the physical braking experience is through battery regeneration. So it's actively slowing down the car on the front axle. I think it's the front axle. Now, if your battery is full, so if you're not using enough of your battery, right, if it's at 100% charge, when you then hit the brake pedal, the battery cannot recharge if it's full. So the regen braking doesn't happen because the battery's full. So you can't charge it anymore. So therefore the car doesn't slow down more by regenerating power and putting that through the front wheels. So essentially what happens is more of the braking goes to the rear wheels, and then you will lock the rears much more easy, because of course the car is set up balance-wise to use it's set up for the battery to not be full. So therefore, it's set up to be balanced. So a little bit of braking on the front with the battery regen, and a little bit of braking on the back. So it's kind of an even balance. As soon as then the battery's full, and you lose that regen braking on the front, the brake bias is very, like, unbalanced, and it's all your braking goes to the rear, or too much of it goes to the rear, and then you lock up way easier. So I do wonder if that's what's happening as well. If you're finding that suddenly you're struggling with the brakes, it could be that you're not using enough of the battery in the car. And for me to explain... Oh yeah, rear axle harvesting. Sorry, Skids, my brain's fudge. But yeah, I would highly recommend checking out our hypercar guide, driving guide, on the Traxion website from a while back that Ross put together, because I'm pretty sure he explains all of this in a way that's hopefully a little bit more digestible and easier to understand than my ramblings to you between races. But yeah. We hope to do some more kind of guides like this as well in future. We're going to go for the Iron Lynx car. We'll get registered. I kind of want to practice bus stop a bit more. We're going to be... we've got a driver... We've got an S3. I forget that there's 3 tiers of silver. I keep saying 1 and 2, but there's 3. Alright, so there's a few quicker drivers signed up to this one. So we should be expected to be a bit further down. We'll try and get a lap in. Yeah, no problem, Nick. No problem at all. And if you're... Yeah, that's also so true. So if you're also coming out of the pits in a hypercar and you're not used to it, you need to be so gentle. You need to let the tires come in. Even with tire warmers on, their tires aren't hot, they're just not freezing cold. So you really need to get out there, put some temperature through the brakes. You need to do like maybe 2 or 3 outlaps before your car actually begins to bite, and that will make a huge difference. So... And one thing I would say is if you're new to Le Mans Ultimate, and I found this at first, and I've got so much experience on like R Factor 2 and Assetto Corsa Competizione, I've got like decades of sim racing experience. And when I first played Le Mans Ultimate, I would go out the pits and I would struggle. And the first few laps I would feel useless. I was like, I can't drive, I'm terrible at this. It was really, really bad. 4.2 laps of fuel should be, 4.5 should be enough for quali. But it turned out, like, I just needed patience. I just needed to be more patient on the outlap. There wasn't tire warmers back then either. And then as soon as I was more patient and I let the car come to me, suddenly you get the feeling and it all begins to make sense. You get to practice how it feels with the tires warm. And then all of a sudden when you're coming out the pits on cold tires, you can just feel when the car is completely suboptimal in terms of grip and it's going to take a lot of work. And then it gives you a lot more confidence. So, yeah. Full combination of factors. Too much of a weave. Hopefully I'll not, I mean I say this is probably going to happen, but hopefully I'll not lock up and get a big flat spot on the first lap. See, straight away, first lap out on cold tyres in practice, and I've gone straight on at the chicane. And if I try and brake anywhere like with the forces I would normally brake with on the outlap, I'm going to lock up the car. Right, race 2, I'm going to be more dialed in, I'm going to be more warmed up. I kind of know which corners I was making the biggest mistakes at. I was learning throughout the race, even though I wasn't necessarily applying it very well throughout the race. I was learning what I should and shouldn't be doing. So hopefully this time we go in from the early stages and we have a bit more confidence. I think the split's going to be more competitive, but then if I can still get a decent result, that's going to be even better for my ranking. So that is the plan. Normally I get a bit more confident in traffic as well after the first race. So that's what happens if I try and brake in an outlap with cold brakes and tyres. That's what happens in bus stop. So you can see the massive difference between that and what was happening in the race once we were all warmed up. Same there, rear lockup. feel like the default traction control is a lot higher than it was in the server, which is interesting. So maybe the setup's actually different. It's a fixed setup, but I don't know if the practice setup's maybe not fixed. I'm not sure. I felt like my default traction control should have been like 6, not 7 or 8 there. We do have some Le Mans Ultimate track guides coming soon, so you'll be happy to know if you're a fan of the old ACC track guides back in the day, the first ever traction series on the channel, then you will be happy to know we are revitalizing the GT3 track guides, and we're starting off with a series of the free tracks essentially that come with the game rather than the DLC stuff, and the free GT3 cars as well. So anyone who's not spent a penny on DLC can still learn and use all of these track guides, and that'll be coming soon to the Traction channel, so do keep an eye out for that. And we've brought in a couple of, well, I say a couple of, we've brought in a STIG to help with that as well, because as you can see, I'm a silver 1 rank driver. We need a gold plus. We need a platinum potential driver to do these track guides to really help show you what you should do, not what might help you, but still probably not exactly what you should do, which is what I would be doing. So yeah. Hopefully it's a level up from the ACC guides. And while I'm in the practice session and doing all of my plugs, I'm going to give you an important one right now. SimRacing Expo next week in Charlotte. So if any of you are able to are in North America or able to travel to North America, the first ever Charlotte SimRacing Expo takes place next week. And all of your favorite racing game, hardware brands and companies are going to be present at the show, showcasing new products, existing products, allowing you to try different things, and really just celebrating the world of sim racing and racing games. And if you're interested in actually going to that event, if you can get over to Charlotte, you still can. You can check out the information via the link in the description below, and you can check out the TraxionGG website. We have a dedicated section of the website for the Charlotte SimRacing Expo next week. So I know it's very soon, but if you're interested, check out the information, check out the website, head over, get your tickets through us. We are the official media partner as well, so we will be bringing you coverage of the event. If you can't make it over, you can subscribe to the channel and we'll be bringing you videos and plenty of articles on the Traxion website about everything we see and try at the SimRacing Expo. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for all that stuff. It's going to be great. Very, very excited. There's also a golden ticket available where you can go to the expo and also go to the NASCAR event at Charlotte as well, which is wicked. So plenty of exciting things on offer. Warm tires and desire to win. Yeah, I'm not really practicing anymore, am I? I'm just driving around talking. I was going to try bus stop, but also I'm going to miss the start of qualifying if I don't get a move on. Too distracted. Anyway, I'm going to be dialed in. Do my best. Performance-wise, that was pretty okay. There are 4 splits, by the way, so very similar to before. Yeah, that previous race wasn't too bad. I didn't see any of the crazy stuttering. Obviously, there was a car that was disappearing and reappearing. FPS was not perfect. I think I dropped to it felt like 35, 40 at certain moments in the race, which you guys probably saw on the stream. It wasn't always completely smooth, that's for sure. And I think that's just because I'm streaming and I'm doing a bunch of different things at the same time. I think that's why anyway, but I'm not 100% sure on that because it has been better in the past. But I didn't have any of the issues I've been having recently with the strange kind of back and forth thing. So fingers crossed that means that we're actually making some progress on that. I'll not speak too soon because we've still got more racing to do. It's just one race, but we'll see. Hey Nova, I love those track guides and I've recently bought LMU but not run a race yet, so that's perfect. Amazing. I'm glad you bought the game. I think it's a good time to come on board with Le Mans Ultimate. It takes a lot of practice, this game, and as I say, if you were here earlier when I was explaining about the tyre warm-up and all of that stuff, yes, you do need to be cautious with it and get up to speed and get comfortable, but of course the track guides will help you out. And once you're happy, you've done a few race weekends offline, you're comfortable with the cars, just jump in some daily races. It won't be perfect straight away, but it's so much fun. Right, I think it was four laps of fuel we needed, so we'll go 15 litres. New tyres. We're going to stick the brake bias, we're going to keep the brake bias where it is, we're not going to go more rearward because I was locking up the rears as it was. We've got drivers talking about carnage, which is definitely going to happen. And this time I'm not going to get a drive through and I'm not going to speed in the pit lane and pick up 3 penalties, I promise. There's a few familiar names back in this race again. So we've got Zolano back, we've got Hennebick back, who's very fast but made a few too many mistakes. So they'll be challenging. Basically 3 of the drivers that were right around me in that last race are back in this first split once again. So a bit of familiarity, that's good. Now if it's the same as last time, our first lap will be rubbish, our second lap will be better, and our third lap will be better again when the tyres come up to temperature. So it does take all of the 8 minutes of qualifying to actually get the tyres fully in the window. So we just need to warm them up without damaging them, basically. Oh, brilliant. Nice, Nova. Well, hopefully the track guides will be useful for you. I can't give you a definitive date on when we'll start releasing those yet, but hopefully not too long. Thank you, Pushbot. I'm glad I got my actual badge now. I've got a kind of diamond badge. That's good. Lost my rookie badge finally. Okay. Warm-up lap commence. So let's not lock up the tyres and damage ourselves for no reason. Just build some momentum. Someone's binned it in qualifying at Eau Rouge. Oh nice, I'm glad you've got a load cell, Nova, that will help a lot. Of course with the GT3s it makes it a bit easier, but with Le Mans Ultimate, the problem is as soon as you go from GT3s to anything else, it's like, whoa, all of a sudden you really do want a load cell brake pedal. And even with the GT3s, it's much better to have a bit more feeling. Cold tyres, but it's been a pretty kind of, it's been a nicely neat and tidy outlap. So that's good. Then we can just build from here, 2 laps to go. Until that moment. It's fine. Not going to matter anyway. So the tyres clearly weren't quite there, trying to brake late into that final chicane.
Lap 2, 0, 7.2.
Ah, cool. Yeah, the tyre model on iRacing isn't quite so forgiving, I'd say. So LMU does, you got a bit more feeling through the tyres. It feels a little bit less like you're on ice at times. But yeah, I think that's fair. I think you can apply a bit more slip angle on the one Ultimate, but it's not always easier. Slightly wide through Kuon, so a little bit of room for improvement on the next lap probably. Got a little bit less fuel of course than in the race, so I can actually push it a tiny bit harder, but you also don't want to mess up your quali lap and miss an apex, so it's a bit of a balancing act. Tricky one. Alright, TC down one. Final lap.
Time 2:03.74.
Okay, we're up into P3 after 2 laps. Give it everything on this lap. Full concentration, guys, so I'll not check the chat for now. Purple sector 1. Ah, turned in too early for Kuon. Opposite of the last lap. So not great. Not terrible. Bit of a lock up, but we're still 7/10 up. Dropped to 5th in the qualifying, so we need to get this last chicane right, really. Make the most of this lap. Everyone's going to go faster in this lap too, though. Nice, not bad. It's going to put us on pole temporarily.
That's
2:02.9. Let's see if anyone beats it. It's going to get beaten, I think. But there's a few checkered flags out, you know. Could it be? No, Hennebick. Predictable. I was getting excited there. I thought I had a pull for a second. Hennebick does a 2:02.783. Fair play. I knew he was faster, but he did make a couple of mistakes in the last race. So, yeah. But I tell you what, I'll take a top split P2. Absolutely. Or even a P4 if we drop a few more. Got 22 P2 cars in the field, so it's a good field. Yeah, you know what, Cameron? You're absolutely right. You obviously, funnily enough, probably watched the start of the WEC race last weekend. You don't want P1 in Spa anyway, do you? You want to be P2. The problem is you need to actually get the first corners right, which is what I did not do last time. So there you go. We'll make sure we take new tyres. And an appropriate level of fuel. I think we did 17 laps of fuel last time. I think it was fine. I wouldn't want to take too many risks in case we end up doing a 1 extra lap. We're third, so Enzo Forcell goes pole position on a 2:02.7. So tell you what, it's really close. There's like, I was only 2/10 off of pole there, and I don't think I could have done much better on that lap. I think Puon probably 2/10, and then the 3 of us could have all been together, but other than that, I have no complaints about that lap, so yeah. Should be a good race. New tyres, we've got fuel. Project Ultramarine predicts a podium. I've got a bit more confidence this time, but obviously the race quite often just comes to you. Why are they on wets? I don't know. That's a bit scary. Hopefully they don't actually start on wets. P3. I doubt they're actually on, no one's on wets. I was wondering what was going on with the UI there.
Formation lap has started.
Let's not get a drive-through for irrational driving or whatever it is that we've had in the past. Irrational is the wrong word, isn't it? Brain's too preoccupied at the start of a race to actually think of the correct English terms for things. Erratic. There we go. I mean, irrational probably counts as well. So you can't really weave or anything, you just got to sort of drive smoothly. Okay, get ready to go. It's all happening very quickly, as always. Oh, didn't mean to press the button. We got away with it. We got away with it, thank goodness. My finger literally slipped. What on earth was that start? I didn't want to lead down here. Oh, that was funny. That was so funny. Another example of a terrible start mixed with quite good that's ended up neutral. We'll stick to our outside, because I think the outside line's the one to go for here. For this reason. Oh, he's hanging it! He's hanging it! Fair play. You got to give him that. If they can hang around the outside, I'm giving it to them. Oh, okay. That was a bit bold, but we're down to P3. I love how I managed to light up the rears as well on exit, so I almost lost it myself. These cars have so much power, and on cold tires, it's tricky. Seems like I'm the only one who has cold tires, though. Right, I have a feeling the car behind me is going to be pretty aggressive into the chicane. It's just a gut feeling. So I've sort of had to half cover.
That time was a 2:12.93.
Magnifico with a Magnifico start. I've been done twice. I was going to say right round the outside. The first one's like inside, outside, inside, whatever you want to call it. You pick a side and you try and get it right. And I thought I honestly defended reasonably well. It was just better from Magnifico. Got to just admit that. And then the second one, yeah, I was maybe just a bit too sensitive on the inside, trying to be a bit careful. And then they had a bit more aggression about them and were a bit more bullish. And deserved. Honestly, it was a totally fair move. It was elbows out in a fair way, and I just wasn't quite bullish enough. I was trying so hard to avoid contact rather than just kind of going, you know what, you can't go around the outside of me there. So that's on me. And then things settle down. To find my rhythm again though, because I need to drive better than this. Long way to go though, long way to go. Try and settle into the rhythm. Yeah, I totally agree. Survive this one. I mean, after the first race as well, I need a better result. Should have been a podium. There's someone called Mayhem in this race, by the way. Their surname in-game is literally Mayhem. Taking the traction down now, the tyres are warm. Bit of a train for P2 now, running all the way down to P6. There's going to be moves behind me, they're very close together I think. Managed to avoid a bit of a flat spot this time, which I obviously picked up on lap 1 of the previous race in the chicane, so this time we're much better in terms of our tyres. We've had a tiny little bit of a lock-up, but nothing flat spotty. Default setup in these cars is a little weird. It's a bit understeery. It's not quite as grippy as I'm used to an LMP2 car being, but then it still lacks a bit of traction at low speed as well. And I think it's quite safe. But then once it goes, it goes. You know, you've seen a few mistakes from people in these cars on this setup, and I think it's just because it kind of lures you into a false sense of security because it's not very nose heavy. Driver behind's definitely got some pace. But he did apologise to me there for that one for the last corner, and I didn't think he did anything wrong. He just got very close to me. I was feeling the pressure, but don't think there was a need for the car behind me to apologise. Yeah, I need to get more of that first curb. Look how much better I was through there by using more curb on the turn-in. So definitely some more improvements to be found lap time-wise through there. Leader's getting away a little bit, but not a huge amount. 4 seconds is the gap. You can see him just ahead. That could be nothing in traffic. obviously I'm getting towed along with a slipstream, which is really nice. I don't know if I'll be much quicker in clean air. It's difficult because I'd lose the slipstream, but also I'd maybe be able to carry a little bit more corner speed.
That time was a 2:04.02.
2:04.0 is not bad pace. I see traffic up ahead. Ian crash. Totally my mistake. Ooh. He locked up down the inside. That's what I should have done to P2 on the first lap. So that was me using the curb as my braking reference for the chicane there, but not seeing the curb until too late. And by the time I got on the pedal, it was too late, so I knew immediately I was going to be locked up there, and I did lock up a tiny bit. So I just had to take my medicine. I was probably just running a bit too close to the car in front, is the reality of that one. Start taking second through here. But I think it's okay. I think the three of us have all got pretty similar pace in general, based on what we're experiencing so far. I was being towed along nicely. Car behind me was sticking. I was sticking with the car in front. So I think it's okay. Leader's not getting away massively from P2, but I just don't think, I think if I got P2 there, I don't know if I would be able to pull away, or we would have all just continued this battle in different order, you know? So for now it's fine. We'll just hunker down. As long as we stay ahead of P5, keep it a top 4 race.
Lap 2:05.87.
It's going to get crazy in traffic. Gain so much time actually by a better line through there, using more of that curb. Should have been doing that more often. Can't believe I've only just discovered how much more curb I can use. After we're halfway through the second race, and I found where the apex should be. I hope John and Mark and all those folk that are back on the channel with the LMU stream, I hope you guys have been good. It's been a wee while. I'm hoping to do more of these, of course, being kind of my favourite, let's say my favourite current sim of the moment, Le Mans Ultimate. So I'm hoping to kind of revitalise the series a little bit and do more regular streams, as well as finishing off the Dirt 3 career mode stuff, and of course playing anything that comes up that's timely or new or interesting. So it'll be a mixture of those kind of things, and we will of course transition between different games and series as we continue on. But yeah, I hope you guys have been good. Hope you've been enjoying your racing in the interim. I'm assuming you've been playing a lot more Le Mans Ultimate. That's a back marker. I thought for a second that might have been a leader. I just need to make sure I don't lose any slipstream here. I'm right on the cusp at the moment. Leader's done a 2:03.7, so they are just slightly faster, I'd say. what do I think about the current state of the DR system? That's honestly a question that I'm kind of learning as we go, honestly, because I was saying at the start of the stream, I actually quite like the fact that the ratings are really like challenging to find in terms of if you're going for platinum or high silver. It's really, really difficult, and it kind of makes it feel almost realistic in that sense, where like, you know, you need to be one of the best in the world to be, okay, gold, but platinum really, you know, absolute cream of the crop. It's maybe still a little bit too extreme based on what others are saying in the chat who have been playing it more regularly than me in terms of the ranked racing recently, but also what I saw in the previous race, you know, with the number of people that are on silver 2 and silver 1, bronze 3 more likely actually. So yeah, S1, bronze 3, there seems to be such a big group of people in that level, but then maybe that's realistic, you know, people that are fast but just not quite, you know, at the kind of top end esports level, or the kind of, you know, real world sort of the kind of level you'd have to be at to be a gold driver, I guess, in the World Endurance Championship. And even the silvers in real life are very, very, you know, some of the most talented drivers out there, just with a bit less experience. So it's tough, and it's realistic in that way, and it means that you have to, you know, if you're gold or platinum, you have to earn it. But I don't know if it maybe makes it feel a little bit saturated. If it feels maybe stagnates your progress a little bit, that can feel frustrating, I guess. Makes a series like Road to Gold all the more kind of rewarding though, and challenging to try and get there.
That time was a 2:04.08.
Okay, this is all absolutely fine right now. I made the mistake. I have to take the hit for that. But the 2, 3, and 4, all of us are still very, very similarly paced. Leader's a tiny bit faster, but still got traffic to come. It's a great battle for P2, and we're just gapping 5, 6, 7, 8. So all to play for halfway through this race. Good podium battle up ahead. And all it's going to take is 1 or 2 mistakes, or tyre wear, or whatever. That's my first yellow track limits. I'm taking too much of the curb on the right-hander there. So I've fixed my entry to the first right-hander, and it's fixing my line through the second part, but then I'm too aggressive on the last part. I need to take less curb. And I know it, I just need to actually I need to actually implement it rather than just be aware of it. Must be coming up to the LMP3s relatively soon. I do not have a stream schedule, Martin. Honestly, it's a bit tricky for us to have a stream schedule just because of the nature of Traction. So, because I'm not just, you know, myself on my own planning out my events and stuff like that. We have you know, we have an editorial team. We have a website. We cover news and we cover new games when they come out and all these things. We have to be a little bit more kind of on the wall. So we might get an email tomorrow that says, oh, there's some, you know, here's a new game or some new content that you might want to try for a video next week, or, you know, we have to be very flexible. So generally speaking, I try and stream, like if it was a totally normal week, I would try and do a couple of streams, and one of them would be on a Friday. So Friday afternoon is my most common time for streaming. But this week, for example, it's a Monday afternoon, and because I know how busy the rest of the week's going to be, we've got a lot of things happening. Of course, the Forza Horizon 6 release for those who buy the kind of the premium edition. So we're going to have lots of Forza Horizon 6 content. There's plenty of other things happening in the background. I'm off to Charlotte for the Expo next week, so it's going to be very, very busy later in the week. So therefore I thought, you know what, I'll do my first stream early in the week. So it's kind of a little bit all over the place in that sense, but I do try and have some consistency where possible, and I do plan on doing multiple streams this week. So we'll be streaming again tomorrow evening, and it'll be like 8 PM or 7 PM UK time, I think. So we're doing a charity race. So Gridfinder are running a week of charity events every evening in the UK. For raising money for the Mind mental health charity. And tomorrow night's race is a Ford Transit vans around Macau, which I think is going to be a right laugh. So the races are going to be broadcast, but we're also going to stream them on Traction, so that should be fun. And I'll do my POV. And then depending on what's happening later in the week, there might be a third stream this week. I can't guarantee it, so it would maybe be... It depends on how the rest of the week looks. But yes, Friday potentially for a third stream. And normally, in terms of so 7 p.m. tomorrow exactly on the UK. But normally in terms of videos as well, our regular upload pattern is Thursday evenings. And it's not always the same because sometimes we have to work with embargoes and things like this. But generally speaking, on a normal week, Traxion will have a regular video going out at 5 p.m. UK on a Thursday. 2036 from the leader. I'm doing the 2040, so they definitely deserve to be out in front pace-wise anyway. Ooh, everyone's doing that lock-up now. I did it into the bus stop. Koenig did it into La Source. Just so you can see the rears locking up. It's very easy to lock up the rears in this car. Zolano in P5 behind me is closing the gap, just in a 2036. And I'm not driving perfectly, but 2040 consistent. I can't do a 2036, I don't think. I don't know if I've got time to do a custom livery, Astrovore, unless you want to make us one. So probably not, no. But that would be sick. Got a bright pink Transit Van. Maybe I should just paint it entirely pink. Didn't know which way I was going to have to go there. I was hoping I could maybe take advantage with a cheeky inside move, but as you saw it, the gap closed, so that was fine. Koenig's running wide there so often. This is where it gets dicey. Have to be a bit decisive. Just dropping off. I'm still within slipstream range, but I would like to be closer than 6/10. I want to be 4/10. That's the perfect spot for me. You can see it's just opportunities come in traffic when there's 3 of us together. I'd rather be at the back than the front almost because I've got something to look forward to rather than something to lose. But Zolano is coming quick in P5. You don't want any livery that Astrovore is capable of making, fair enough. That's sort of the same as me, to be honest. I say sort of, that's exactly the same as me. Ross might join for the transit race as well though, so it'll be the laugh if the 2 of us are doing it together. That'll be fun. And I know Lucas Blakely's going to be taking part as well, so the Scots are out in full force by the looks of it. Don't know when I'm going to practice for that event, so it might be that I'm fighting for P11. Big lock up in front. Leader's still like 9 seconds clear, so they're just consistently 2-3 quicker a lap. Getting feisty. This is the perfect gap. This is what I want for a nice slipstream and just to be a little bit out of the way in terms of being able to get a run and to be able to let things like that happen without getting taken out or affected by it. Seven and a half minutes to go. It's been a slow burner, but I think it could still get very exciting, especially when Zolano catches, because at this rate, I'm sorry, but he's going to catch me. So there's going to be 4 of us in a train. Traction control down 1 more. I think I need a bit more performance.
920.5. 3, 5.
Right, this is nice. This is going to be ideal, I think. First of my little skips. That could have ended badly. And I got really close. Solano 1 second back now. LMP3s. Right, this is probably the main LMP3 group now, top 8. So it's going to get dicey. Oh, spinner, spinner, spinner! Wow. This is going to not work for me now, though. Ah, I can't do it there. I'm sorry, I had to be safe there. I know it was boring, but I could not go for a crazy move. Oh. Right, this is it now. Race on. Oh no. Whew. It's not over. Okay, it's over. That was fun. There goes Solano. Way too aggressive. I'll take my yellow track warning. Don't want it to be orange, but we're going to have to take it. Solano through as well. Alright, timing was perfect for me to make that move because Solano was coming and I took advantage of an opportunity. Here's a second opportunity potentially. Nope. Right, 4 minutes to go. This is going to be dodgy. Solano's going to get a great run out of here. Focusing the exits. This is proper racing. If I go for a move into bus stop, it might mean Solano then goes for a move into the next bit, which might actually help me a little bit here. Now he's going to defend the inside. Okay, we'll slot back in. Hopefully we'll get the LMP3 on the run towards Eau Rouge, but I'm not sure we're going to be close enough for that. It's going to be really dicey. Oh, this is going to be incredibly dicey. Look at the gap for the LMP3. Right, deep breath, everyone. Oh, wow. Fair play. Fair play for getting out of the way. I was totally tensing up there for the most ridiculous run through Eau Rouge and Radion you've ever experienced. Just got to apply the pressure now that he doesn't have a slipstream. He's under a bit more threat. I'm using lower gears as well, just to make sure I get all that acceleration when I'm not able to carry the momentum like I was in qualifying. It's just Solano is so threatening, because Solano definitely is the fastest of the four of us. Do we go for it into the bus stop? I think we want the slipstream for Eau Rouge and Radion, don't we? But I don't know. If I go for it, Zolano. If I don't go for it, Zolano's going to go for it. I don't know what's going to happen here. So I'm going to have to be absolutely switched on to what's about to happen. Perfect. And those two fight into the first corner. Hopefully they don't wipe me out here. Perfect. Right. Slipstream to the slower one of the two. Bring him back past Solano. Perfect. Right, go. And then hopefully we get these P3s in time before the others catch them into the chicane, but this is going to be awful. The two of them are side by side behind. This is going to be terrible timing. Oh, so nice to not have dirty air through here. I've got all this grip all of a sudden. Go, go, go! Alright, just got to cover Zolano in the last corner. That's a good race. I could not honestly have executed that better, I don't think. After what was a poor execution at the start, the rest of that race was just superb between everyone. Really good. And I did say to you with about, what, 5 laps to go, I said, it's a slow burner, but this is going to get good. Just with the traffic, with everyone being so closely matched, and with the faster car coming behind, you just knew something was going to kick off. And you can see our lap time. I mean, 2:03.4 for Joe, 2:03.4 for Zolano, 2:03.3 for Forcell, 2:03.6 for Snellgrove in P6. We were at 2:04.0. Now, I know I had a 2:03 in me, for sure. And I just didn't really execute the fastest laps there. But second in split 2 with that sort of pace, just with great racecraft and obviously recovering from mistakes. I made all my mistakes early and just nailed the racecraft towards the end. And I'm the first one to be super critical of my own racecraft at the best of times. But I also recognize that I got that right at the end. So I'll take it. I'll take P2. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I forgot I was streaming for the last like 3 or 4 laps. It was just really epic racing. Right, let's see if we can get a bit of a breakdown. Unfortunately, I don't have the replay. I've actually turned off replay saving for general kind of play when streaming, just because I think it's another thing that might help me with some of these issues that I'm having with the lag. I read up that it can make a difference. We're still S1, but we're like, I mean, you can't see a gap there. We're literally on the cusp of regaining Silver 2, which we had there. Big gains in lots of different areas. Beat everyone who we should have beaten in qualifying. Beat 10 drivers who had a higher ranking than us. So in that race, we were expected to finish 13th. So the first race I did, I had the 5th best ranking. In that race, I had the 13th best ranking. So it was a stronger field, but the experience and the warm-up from the first race obviously just made a big difference. So, yeah, happy days. Happy days. Well, Eiley number, that is the goal. The goal is to catch and pass your driver ranking. What is your driver ranking, though? Because if it's gold, then that's going to be a big challenge. Very big challenge indeed. Thing is, I'm gonna call it there, guys, because I don't have time for another full race, but also I don't want to jump into a race with absolutely no prep and just undo all the work, because this is Road to Gold now. Like, I want to be able to jump in and do random races, but I want at least like 10-15 minutes of prep before I just jump into something blind, because I will undo all the hard work. So, oh, you're halfway through Silver 2. Nice. All right. Well, seeing where we are now, right on the cusp of Silver 2. Hopefully next time I will make Silver 2. And then we will continue to chase for gold. But the problem I'm going to have is, I mean, you can see there, the driver that won that race that was way, way quicker than me, they were Silver 3. So they're not even gold. And they were doing like 2 or 3 4s and 2 or 3 5s consistently. So a solid like half second a lap quicker. And I was in a slipstream as well. Dirty air, but a slipstream. So probably slower conditions for me. And there you go. Oh, nice. That's a great number of races. I would love to have done 250 races on LMU, but too many other games for me to play, unfortunately. It's not unfortunate, but spread across too many things. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you again soon. Great to see so many familiar names back in the chat as well. And also some new names as well. Plenty of names I've never seen before, which I highly appreciate. A few questions I haven't answered, so I'll run through real quick. What was my brake pressure on? I don't actually know. It was the default setup, whatever that is. So if you do the prototype fixed race at Spa, whatever the default setup is, I think it's 100%, then that's what I'm on. If that's what you mean. 2029 that race, mid S3. Yeah, so 2029 is where... That's clearly where the pace is. Like, and I think if I got that curb into the chicane right every time, and I got out of dirty air, I think I could definitely be in 203s. To try and get into the high 202s on fixed setup is tricky. What do you have to put up way higher? The brake pressure. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, there's clearly like lots of different gains that could be made. But hey, it was good. You have to be the top 20 fastest LMP2 drivers to gold. That's true. Like, this is why it's such a challenge, but like this is a long-term project. Like, yeah, I think it's gonna be very, very difficult to get gold, and that's why it's fun to just see how close we can get. And I'll probably, if I never get there, grand. But if I can try and get up to Silver 2 again, and then try and get up to Silver 3, just with some good practice and good racing, then who knows? We'll just have to see. Terj, you've joined just at the wrong moment because I'm just about to leave. But good to see you. We answered your question in the Traction Control podcast, which is coming out hopefully not tomorrow, on Wednesday. So we covered the question you asked us in our Discord server. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about Flatout 4 VR as well. But good to see you. I'm sorry you joined late, but I would recommend go back and watch the races, or even skip through them. But the first race is worth a watch. The second race is definitely worth a watch, Terj. So hopefully you enjoy them. And try and avoid spoilers. Yeah, I'll get ready for the charity race. So subscribe to the Traction channel if you don't want to miss our attempt at racing a Ford Transit van around Macau tomorrow on Assetto Corsa, all in the name of charity. So I'll get that stream scheduled at some point, and yeah, subscribe so you don't miss it. We'll also have a video, of course, later in the week. Possibly multiple videos, it depends on how we get on, and potentially even a third stream later in the week as well. We've got the Traction Control podcast coming out on Wednesday on the Traction Control podcast YouTube channel. What else can I plug? We've got the SimRacing Expo next week in Charlotte, so lots of content to come from that, lots of articles, lots of videos. Once again, all the information is in the link in the description. You can head to the TraxionGG website, head to the SimRacing Expo section of the website to find out more, to book your tickets, to see all the exhibitors, to see what's being announced, and hopefully some of you, if you're going to Charlotte, I will see you there, because we are going to be running around filming all sorts of content, and hopefully we'll have a chance to speak to as many of you as possible. So look forward to it. I think that's me done with my plugs for today. So until tomorrow or whenever I see you next, thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a great week. Bye!